Well, good morning from Ascension Church Bath on Wednesday, 5th of August. I'm Robert Pym, the vicar there, and this is a morning reflection in the hope of helping you on the way. I've been doing them most days since lockdown started. I stumbled across an evening prayer this morning, and I just wondered whether at the moment things feel a bit more like evening with the shadows coming upon us. And this was, well, it's a quote from a psalm. My soul waits for the Lord more than those who watch for the morning, more than those who watch for the morning. Picture of the watchman through the dark night, watching for the first signs of morning. And I wonder, do we wait for the Lord even more than those who watch for the morning? You see, he is the Lord of goodness and compassion. He wants to bring his compassion to us. That's going to be our theme for this Sunday. It's hard to hear it, even after all this time of, for many, quieter times, or at least opportunities for that more. Still hard to hear of his compassion in those valleys. During New Wine, a number of the speakers referred to, no surprise really, I guess, the stories of Jesus out on the lake, the storms that came up. Well, one where he was asleep in the boat, but there's another one in Matthew 14, verse 24, where Jesus isn't with them, and he's stayed on the hills on him alone to pray, and they're out there in a strong wind and fighting the heavy waves, and Jesus comes to them across the water. You know the story, and particularly because Peter says to him, Lord, if it's really you, tell me to come to you walking on the water. And Jesus says, come. And the story runs on, as you know, that he goes out on the water, and then as he saw the waves and wind, he became terrified and began to sink. Save me, he calls out, and Jesus reaches out and takes his hand and lifts him out. And they get into the boat, and Jesus says, why do you have such little faith? And many of the speakers have said, actually, a little faith may be all we need. Jesus said, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you shall move mountains. So maybe it's the other way around. Jesus saying, at least you had some faith. Interesting. Anyway, a number of people have picked up that picture of Jesus reaching out with his hand to Peter. He stepped out in faith, but then began to sink. And it's a hand of compassion. And a number of the speakers, one in particular, Danielle Strickland, spoke of his great compassion towards us. Will we seek the Lord today? Our psalm for this morning, Psalm 34, speaks of this invitation. Psalm 34, verse 17. The Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. He's close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. His hand reaches out to us. He invites us to come in even to the Holy of Holies, believe it or not, where he is present even in the midst of the storms. And who knows what we will find in the Holy of Holies. But Jesus has opened the way there for us. Certainly forgiveness and compassion, and I suspect a place of rest too. The Holy of Holies. I'm not sure I've gone there very often, but the Lord holds out his hand and invites us even in the valleys. in the place of the shadow of the valley of death, even to take his hand as he reaches out to us. I'd like to finish this morning with a prayer from Psalm 34, other verses there. Psalm 34, verse 4 and then 8. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. And then verse 8, taste and see that the Lord is good. I imagine Peter, as he took the Lord's hand offered to him, understood his help, that he was with us, with him, even in that moment. So as you say, will I wait for the Lord? Look out for him, even more than the watchman watches for the morning. Today, will you do that? So may the Lord be with you and keep you safe. Amen.